Hi everyone! I can barely fit this box into the frame, so I am filming standing up. And today I want to share with you this Spellbinder's Platinum 6. It's their latest die cutting machine that came out, and it's a small version, like a mini version of the original one. And I want to start using it, but before I can do that, I want to show you what it looks like when it comes out of the box and what you need to do, what comes with it, etc, etc. So I got mine around Black Friday, which was a bit of a sale, so I saved some money when I purchased it, and I will leave the links below as always. So you can use it for different projects. So there is the obvious one, paper and mixed media, so you can cut out different shapes out of paper. You can also use it obviously in your home decor, decorating, creating paintings, or not paintings, but like collages of certain things that you can put into a frame and hang on a wall. You can do fabric arts, so there is a plenty of things you can do, and you can cut a variety of materials, which you can see here. It says thick to thin, so you can cut from burlap to very thick papers, and kind of a lot of things. So I'm going to try cutting watercolor paper today, because that's around 300 GSM, and I want to see whether that would work, because I got these, let me show you quickly. Off to the side I have a few things here that I will be using today as well. So there are also these very fine ones of they're called Thinlits, I think, Wildflowers, so that will be fun to see as well. So let's have a look at the box. When I swap it around, it says here, made with VersaCut technology, strength, pressure and durability, cuts up to 6 layers in one pass. So that's a lot. Cuts over 40 different materials. So that's pretty good. So it says here, one machine, one pair of cutting plates, one embossing plate and one mat, one standard platform, one handle and instructions. So that's what you're going to get in here. So let's give it a go. Oh yes, and then I also wanted to show you this. So it's a very heavy box, and the reason it is heavy is because of this thing. So that's the mechanism inside, and it says here solid cast construction for unsuppressed strength and pressure durability. So there are these metal heavy duty rolls inside that help to really press down when you are twisting the handle and passing the plates through. So the pressure that's created really makes the die cuts cut through the paper, and that's how it's achieved, and that's why it's so heavy, even though it's quite small and compact and will take very minimal space on your desk. Anyhow, I will open the box and take things out, and then I will see you in a bit. Okay, so now that it's out of the box, it is super cute and it's super tiny. You can see compared to the size of my hands. The box was obviously much bigger to hold it and to secure it properly. But yeah, it's very kind of space economical. So once you open the plates, you see it's not that much bigger. So if I turn it around this way, it still is a good size. It's not going to take up a lot of space on your desk or in your studio. And the handle comes out just by pulling it. So what I like about this machine is that it's manual and it doesn't need any cables, no charging, no setup. So if you're someone who likes things to be less complicated, then it's great, because all you need to do is just turn the handle and, you know, put certain die cuts in there, and that's it. So it comes with a handle which you need to secure, and it also comes with this pack which has the plates in there, and the instructions. So I will quickly read through the instructions and attach the handle. Alright, I actually decided to do the handle together because in the instructions it says that there are 2 flat sides on the metal post, which is this bit here, but in fact there is only one, and I think the 2 might apply to the original, not the mini. So if you can see in the handle, the flat side is just on one side. So basically, don't look for the second one, or don't think that there is anything faulty with your machine. Just align the sides. So the flat side at the moment is facing front, and here is the same position in the handle. So slide it on, and then it says slide washer onto screw and place both inside handle. So I would assume this is the washer because we only have this thing and the screw. I have no idea when it comes to these things, so let my husband usually do them. So then you're going to screw it in using this little tool that comes with it, like that. So I'm holding the handle in place. Okay, now it's nice and tight. And then final step is to attach this rubber cup here to make things look pretty. And the way you remove it is you get the cup somehow out and unscrew the handle if you need to do that. But I am not planning to do that. So let's actually start playing with this, which I'm looking really forward to. Okay, so let's have a look inside the bag that this instruction catalog was in. And basically you also get this blue mat, which is a plastic and it has a bit of a texture. It's called Embossing Plate. I wasn't actually sure what it's made out of because when I was watching videos before it looked rubber to me, but it's actually not. So it's hard plastic. Then we have this rubber mat, which is also for embossing, so that's quite sort of silicone-y and very flexible. And then we have 2 cutting plates. So they come in this transparent acrylic. Looks very nice. And as far as I understand, they will get quite scratched up, so they only look so nice for a short period of time or before you start using them. And then this actual platform. So the platform explains to you here what to do, so that's quite neat. You don't need to look for like you know, instructions, where is it gone, where did you place it, etc. It's quite a good idea to put it in here. And it says here, this is not a cutting surface, so make sure you don't cut on this, but use these plates for that. So it says here how to build a wafer thin die sandwich. So that's going to be for thin. Then there is how to emboss a cut shape, and also how to build a single or double-sided embossing folder sandwich. Now for this one you actually need to buy the embossing folders. I've seen, I think Tim Holtz does some for Sizzix if I'm not mistaken, so you can buy them. And then there's also build a 3D embossing folder sandwich. So there's a variety of things you can do here, but if you don't have that, you can still emboss with a die template. So instead of cutting, it will emboss. So we'll try a couple of different things today, which I'm really excited about. Okay, so I will hopefully you can see it from here. So I'm going to open that. So I will do it this way so I can read what's going on here. Now, so what we need is platform. On top of platform goes standard cutting plate. So that would be this one. Then we have the paper cardstock. And then we have, you can use foil, etc. So you can use different papers. And then finally we have the die template. It says here cut side down, and then you're finishing off with the standard cutting plate again. So basically I won't need these two because they're for embossing, which we'll try a bit later. So I'll pick some paper now. Okay, so I have picked this Tim Holtz alternations by Sizzix, and they're called Thinlits or Thinlights. It's 7 dies, and I believe, yeah, it's called Wildflowers. So I'm going to cut it on this paper. It's just something I, did that I'm not too keen on, but I want to see what it's going to look like once I cut. So the paper is, by the way, it's 300 GSM watercolor paper, so it's, good thickness. And on top of it, we are advised to put die templates, and remember, cut side down. Oh, I like how it comes in a really nice envelope. It's so good to keep them like that. So I'm just going to pick, there's quite a few here. Okay, I'll do it that way. I'll just do one at a time. Let's not be greedy. So I'm going to place these back. So the next thing, so we've done, how do you know where it's cut side down? Is where the lines are. So these lines are going to press onto the paper and essentially cut it. So that's how you know. And the flat side is the opposite side to the cut side. Hope that makes sense. And the next thing, I'm going to lay cutting plate, and now I'm pushing it through, and I'm going to just turn. It actually is going really smoothly because I wasn't sure whether you have to really push it, whether it's awkward. It's hard to say sometimes on video. Now it goes really smooth as butter, I can promise you. I don't even need to push it in. And the other thing is, I can see there is so much pressure now that the plate is sort of standing up on this side. So I'm expecting to start hearing cracking noise soon. Oh, there hasn't been any cracking noise. So I'll go back just in case. And okay, be careful with that because it really jumped on my hand, so I had to apply more pressure. I wasn't, aware of that because it was my first time. So don't do it lightly. Do really hold it, because once it comes back, it really jumps. Not this thing won't jump at you, but the handle kind of swings hard back at you. So be careful with that. Okay, so I'm going to remove this, and you can see that the first mark is made because obviously it's been applied to the pressure. So don't worry about that. It just means that you're using your machine. Okay, so this looks really, really nice. And you can see those cutting lines on the other side of the plate, of the paper. So I wonder if I push through what is going to come out. Wow, it does. Look at that. That's incredible, honestly. So we're left with this. Now you think, how on earth am I going to get this delicate thing out? So for that, you need two things. You need a kind of like a needle point tool. I'm not sure what they're called, but I'll put that down below. And what you will do essentially, so you can see these 2 or 3 areas here, which are paper that's stuck in there, but we don't worry about it just for now. You're going to turn it around and just push some of these. So for example, the paper just came out there, and this one. That's how easy it is. But sometimes you get a lot of these details and it would take you ages to do that. So in that case, you would need this brush, which is a die brush and foam pad set, and it would help you to brush these details out. But what I've just done is I found a random hole in here, and I just basically pushed, and you can see that is lifting the paper out of the frame. So I'm going to do it at the bottom and one in the middle, so it releases it, and then just wherever you need more, you can find these other holes to do it in, so that you don't rip this very delicate piece. And there you go. The only thing I'm left with is this little one. Wow. That is super pretty. I mean, look how thin this is. I would never be able to cut something like this with scissors. Just so gorgeous. And on the metallic paint, it looks beautiful. Also because it's watercolor paper, it's nice and thick. So you could use it on a card project, or you could use it on, I don't know, in your journal. You know, for example, I could stick some of this onto my art and, you know, play with it. So it's a really, really fun idea. Now I want to have a look at embossing. Just while we're at it, I will use the exact same thing, but I think I might just... And look at this as well. This looks quite interesting. You could create like a little wash of watercolor and then cut out your dies and frame it. I think that would look very fresh. Like, it's just so unique, isn't it? I haven't seen it before. Just like a silhouette. You know when people cut out, like out of black paper, they cut out a face shape, but this is like the negative. It looks so gorgeous. Anyways, I think I will have so much fun because I haven't seen this done before, and I'm just thinking what to do next. Okay, so next thing to do, I will use the same piece of paper and I will use the same die cut just to see what we could achieve. And I'm going to build the other one, so the embossing platform comes first. Then first comes die template cut side up this time, and then we have paper, then we have the tan embossing mat and the embossing plate. So instead of the cutting plate, you finish off with the embossing plate, and then you also add the embossing mat. Okay, so this time we start with platform as before, but we're going to take the cutting plate off. So then the die templates cut side up, so this is the cut side up, paper on top, so I'm going to place it here. Actually, I want to see what it's going to look like, so I'm going to place it here, I think, right? The next one that's coming onto this is this flexible tan mat, like that. And then we're finishing off with the embossing plate. It should add less pressure, basically, and because it's pressing onto the flexible silicone mat, it's going to not be able to cut through. So that's the idea. Okay, let's start. So I'm pushing it slightly in, and then I don't need to do much. I'm just going to continue that. And I've seen a lot of people just do it once, but I like to do it twice. So I'm going to go back in and careful with the handle now. There we go. And let's have a look. There is some static, I notice. So I don't know whether it's because it's new or not. And there it is. How neat is that? Wow. So there is your embossing. How gorgeous. You could create so many things like that. So as you can see, it's not cut through. You could use either side. So whether you prefer when it's sort of like a softer outline, then it would be the reversed, or it would be sharper, cutting or embossing lines where the die cut was facing it, like that. So it's up to you. So you have two varieties there, but either way, both of them look very pretty. Again, great for a lot of things. So I hope this helped you, and I'm so excited because I have loads and loads of different things to get busy with, and I think this is what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to put Mason to bed and then really have loads of fun. So I've got this cute little gingerbread man and all these little things that I can cut out with the die cutting machine and then watercolor them and make like miniature embellishments for cards or for anything really. Okay, so I am super excited. This was a Christmas present that I chose for myself, so my husband got that for me. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't be happier. And the other thing is, this size is perfect for me. I wouldn't need anything bigger at all. Let me just show you. I got this set right here, which I wasn't sure whether it would fit in or not. It's the A5 die set by Xcut, and what is it called? I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the envelope one. And you can see how big it is, but it would perfectly fit onto here. So, you know, it would go through, and it still has like almost a centimeter each side. So I don't need anything bigger. I don't think I'll ever cut anything bigger, and I like to work on small items anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you ever were considering a die cutting machine, I hope I could show you how much fun this one is. Or if you never thought of one, give it a go. You might really open up a lot of doors in the crafting world for yourself. I mean, I can't get over it. Look how incredibly dainty this is. Isn't this just the most precious thing ever? I've got so many ideas of how I could use this. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you soon.